I moved to Canada in 2019 and quickly understood that there's a huge gap between the income we make and the cost of living in this country. It's no secret that the Canadian housing market is inflated beyond measures and people are struggling. Looking at these graphs can give anyone anxiety. This gap keeps widening, and while there are some attempts to cool this down, it might take a long time or it may never drop to realistic prices without destroying the economy. Either way, it's irrelevant because you can't plan for unpredictability. If you're from Canada, recently moved here or are planning on moving here, you have to find ways to save and invest more money. Your life kind of depends on it. I can sit here and directly tell you that you're doing yourself a huge disservice or might be ruining your life if you don't come here with a good financial plan or don't plan as soon as you come here. If you already disagree with me, drop a comment telling me why. Anyway, let's look at some ways to save more money and set yourself up for financial success to begin with. And hopefully this translates to long-term success as well. Let's begin. First, let's talk about budgeting and smart spending. Generally speaking, these are important financial habits, and more so in a country like Canada where the cost of living is so high. Budgeting helps you manage your money better and keeps your spending under control to make sure that you don't stray away from your financial goals. To start budgeting, you should review your income and expenses monthly. This gives you a clear analysis of your financial situation and helps you see where you are spending and how much you are saving. For instance, you should know exactly how much you need to save every month and try to stick to it as much as possible. And even better, progressively increase it over the months and years. Setting up spending guardrails is an important aspect of budgeting. If your goal is to save, consider setting caps on how much you can spend on non-essential items so you don't accidentally spend more than you want to. In Canada, it is suggested that you allocate your income in the following way: 35% for housing, 10 to 20% for food, and so on, with eventually having 5 to 10% for savings. These are just guidelines and it will depend greatly on your personal situation. And I'm here to tell you that this is all wrong. You should strive to invest and save way more than this. Personally, I try to save and invest more than 40% of my income. While it's a hit or a miss, I continue to strive for it every single month. Set extremely high goals for yourself as well and try to work towards it. To help with budgeting, there are several apps that are available. For the longest time, I used Mint, but since they are shutting down, I'm exploring apps like YNAB and Pocket Guard. On the other hand, Reebee and Flip are grocery saving apps that can help you save money on groceries, pharmacy, and other household essentials. These apps allow you to browse weekly digital flyers from retailers near you or search for items you need. I can't stress how much money these apps have saved me over the years by simply telling me which grocery store to shop at. A little effort can add up over the years and save you a lot of money. The cost of groceries in Canada can vary greatly depending on where you shop. You could be paying 30 to 50% more for something just because you entered the wrong store. Smart spending is also about living within your means. It involves prioritizing long-term goals, being patient, balancing your accounts, and keeping track of every dollar you spend as it affects your overall budget. I also incorporate smart spending habits like buying big-ticket items and clothes only during Black Friday and different sales. Again, you can save hundreds of dollars by adopting such simple tactics and sticking to some discipline. Budgeting and smart spending are essential to adopt in Canada, especially if you're new here. Next, high interest savings accounts are essential for maximizing savings in Canada because the interest rates are pretty low. You can get higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts, allowing your money to grow faster. These accounts have become more popular in Canada as online-only banks entered the scene, offering interest rates well above those advertised by traditional banks. One of the main benefits of using a high-interest account is that it can help you grow your wealth at least at the pace of inflation. In Canada, the inflation has hovered wildly between -0.5% and 8% over the last 7 years. During such uncertain times, try to retain as much purchasing power as possible. Also, please don't rely on the inflation numbers coming out of the media. Map it out based on what you purchase and how inflation affects your purchasing habits. Also, getting paid directly into a high interest savings account can help you start earning interest on your salary immediately. However, it's important to note that interest rates on high interest accounts can vary significantly between financial institutions. While some of the big banks in Canada offer interest rates as low as 0.05% on their high interest savings accounts, other banks can offer rates as high as 3 to 4%. Currently, my savings are split between EQ Bank earning 3% and Wealthsimple Cash earning 4%. Whenever I decide to allocate this money towards investments, I take it out from these accounts. In addition to the interest rate, you should also consider factors such as fees, minimum balance requirements, and accessibility to services when choosing a high interest account. Please look for the best interest rate, especially if you are more of a saver than investor. Next up, we have a polarizing topic, especially for immigrants: credit cards. Before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, drop a like and consider subscribing to support and join me in this journey. Now back to the video. In Canada and generally in North America, credit cards are an essential financial tool. They not only provide a convenient way to pay for things, but also help build credit history, which is crucial for future borrowing needs. But it's important to know the drawbacks of having credit cards, that is overspending and building up debt. And this can be made worse due to the high prevalence of consumerism in the West. A good credit score is essential for securing loans, mortgages, and even rental units. Using a credit card responsibly helps build you a good credit score. This includes paying off your balance in full every month, not getting close to your credit limit, and applying only for the credit you need. Rule of thumb: to get the best out of your credit card usage, do not spend more than 35% of your available limit. But as I said before, credit cards can also fuel consumerism. As an immigrant, it's essential to be aware of this and do not fall into bad debt. Here are some strategies to help you use credit cards more responsibly. Set a budget for how much you can spend with your cards. Remember the 35% limits. Track your spending regularly to stay within budget. This can also help you spot any fraudulent activity. Always pay off your credit card balance in full each month. The easiest way to do it is by setting up autopay. Finally, choose a credit card with no or low annual fees. There are plenty of great options for Canadians and newcomers alike. Next, we have some core components of wealth building in Canada: your registered accounts for saving and investing. These include accounts such as your RRSP, TFSA, FHSA, and RESP. These are extremely important for wealth building and financial planning in Canada. The RRSP is the key source of retirement income for most Canadians. You get tax breaks on your contributions and you can grow your money tax-free all the way until you retire. Contributing early or making regular monthly contributions can significantly enhance the growth of your RRSP due to the additional years of compound growth. It's also important to set savings targets on your RRSP so you can gauge your progress and make sure you stay on track. Also, remember, a lot of employers offer matching RRSP programs. These can significantly boost your funds, and it's basically like getting free money, so make sure you take advantage of that. The TFSA is the most popular registered savings account. It provides tax-free growth of your money, anytime withdrawals, and the ability to carry forward contribution room. You can use this account for short-term and long-term goals. If nothing else, this also serves as a source of income in your retirement. The FHSA is actually a newly introduced account for first-time home buyers with the ability to save and invest $40,000 on a tax-deductible and tax-free basis. This is a great account as it can make it a little easier for you to buy a house in Canada someday. And even if you don't want to use this money to buy a house, you can later transfer it to your RRSP without any consequences. Similarly, we have the Registered Education Savings Plan. This is a tax benefit investment vehicle in Canada designed to help parents save for a child's post-secondary education. Contributions to the plan are not tax deductible, but the investment grows tax-free and the government contributes grants to supplement the savings. There are also other accounts that you should be aware of and definitely make use of them too. If you're struggling to figure out how to make use of these accounts, check out this video which talks about a framework that can help you take decisions more wisely. Finally, to end this video, I want to talk about the importance of setting financial goals. In Canada, the lack of proper planning and goals can keep you struggling for a long time. These goals are specific money-related targets you set for yourself, each tied to a different aspect of your financial life. They can range from short-term goals addressing immediate needs or long-term goals that might require years of saving and planning. Financial goals can be tied to life events and personal objectives such as living debt-free, creating a safety net of investments, buying a car or a home, paying for a wedding, starting a business, starting a family, traveling, or even retiring. They can be categorized into short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Setting financial goals is extremely important for reasons such as creating a realistic plan to achieve your goals, prioritizing the right things, maintaining discipline, and finally for deriving some sense of achievement. To set financial goals, you need to identify and prioritize well. A good practice is to always have a dollar amount for each of your goals and make sure there's a time frame in which you want to achieve it. It's also important to always monitor, review, and change your goals as you get older or your situation in life changes. Once you set your goals, you can also create a strict budget to achieve them. And just like that, we have completed a full circle and reached the first topic we discussed in this video. Those were some of the things I wanted to talk about in this video. If you feel all this is too hard or too unrealistic, just try it for a few months. You will make progress when you execute and stay disciplined. I talk to people about this very often. Complaining will not get you anywhere. You have to execute. Try budgeting, saving, and investing and see how big of a difference it can make. Am I happy with my finances? Sometimes and sometimes not, but I do not sway from the path. You too should keep going and do not give up. Always find ways to save more, invest more, and even make more money. I will be back with many more videos on these topics. Till then, keep learning and stay on top of your finances. Until next time.